The stock market does a nosedive, the tariffs are ready to go out, and Canada says they're going to retaliate. Let's take a look. Hey everybody, I'm Tony from the other side, where we talk about politics, even the paranormal, and anything that's weird. So what's going on today? With Trump planning on putting out tariffs to China, Canada, and Mexico, Mexico said they'd deliver 10,000 troops to the border. So the stock market initially took a 600-point nosedive. However, after about a 30-minute call with Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, they were able to come to some kind of agreement where they're going to relax that on Mexico for at least the next 30 days. So the stock market mostly recovered, but still ending in a 100-point loss for today. Not horrible, but not great either. We're going to have to wait and see until tomorrow when the tariffs take place for Canada and China. So what was all part of that negotiation? Mexico has agreed to deploy 10,000 troops to the U.S. border in exchange for a 1-month delay. Now, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum made the announcement on social media Monday morning, roughly 12 hours before the tariffs were set to take effect. So we just put a pause on the Mexican tariffs for at least 30 days. She actually wanted them to go away forever, and she's got a great post up on X. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to take a look at that. It is in Spanish, but it does have subtitles so you can easily follow along. And Trump says it was a very friendly conversation wherein she agreed to immediately supply 10,000 Mexican soldiers on the border separating Mexico from the United States. These soldiers will be specifically designed to stop the flow of fentanyl and illegal immigrants into the country. Now, the problem is, in her X post, she actually said that the U.S. needs to stop sending, I think she said 73% of their high-powered ammunition and weapons come from the United States. She actually had some report, I think it was either from the FBI or the CIA, stating that that was a fact. So, again, I'll put a link in the comments. Before I go too much further, let's look at this guy. I can't get enough of this. This is that shaman. This is that shaman. Liz's hat. MAGA. Gotta love him. All right. And speaking of MAGA, obviously Elon Musk. Now, he's saying they broke the law as he's perusing the white people Twitter. Kind of wonder why Elon Musk would be looking at white people Twitter. I mean, I'm sure by now we've all seen this thing. I mean, you can read between the lines there, guys. Ooh, and more of this. I can watch this bozo all day. Expand this a little bit. So even though we're set to make tariffs all over the place, and a lot of the far-right conservatives think that that's a great thing. I mean, totally don't worry about voting with your wallet and wanting prices to come down, because they've also said that that's going to take some time, if it'll even do it at all. Trump's own words, he says, Americans could feel some pain. So those of you that voted with your wallet, sorry to say, things are going to get a bit more expensive. President Trump warned that there could be some pain after signing executive orders that impose stark tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico, and a 10% duty on imports from China. Looking at 3 of America's key trade partners. This will be the golden age of America. Will there be some pain? Yes, maybe not. But we'll make America great again, and it will all be worth the price that must be paid. Set to go in effect on Tuesday. New duties include 25% tariffs on goods from Canada and Mexico and 10% tariff on China. And what he's saying here is that the intention is to hinder or slow the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. However, what are some of the downsides of these tariffs? Not only higher prices for the consumers, and if you guys need an understanding of how or why that works, leave a comment and I'll explain it. But don't just take it from me. Let's listen to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, on what tariffs and sanctions can do.
Brazil, in our hemisphere, largest country in the Western Hemisphere south of us, cut a trade deal with China. They're going to, from now on, do trade in their own currencies, get right around the dollar. They're creating a secondary economy in the world, totally independent of the United States. We won't have to talk about sanctions in 5 years because there'll be so many countries transacting in currencies other than the dollar that we won't have the ability to sanction them.
Now, we all hope that doesn't happen, as the U.S. dollar's long been the standard for global currency. But You heard it from Marco Rubio as what can happen. We're not going to be able to sanction anybody, and we're not going to be able to put tariffs on anybody because they're probably not going to care, at least for the outside countries, especially with our closest allies. Now, the free trade agreement's been in place for over 20 years, and with arguably our strongest allies, definitely our closest. And one last thing on tariffs, there's always going to be retaliation. We heard that Mexico's planning some, and also Canada. China's well on their way as well. But let's listen to what Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, has to say.
Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives. Like the American tariffs, our response will also be far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine, and bourbon, fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes. It'll include major consumer products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are considering, with the provinces and territories, several non-tariff measures, including some relating to critical minerals, energy, procurement, and other partnerships. We will stand strong for Canada. We will stand strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world.
Powerful. Now, we're going to have to see how this plays out in the days to come. Tariffs can be a great thing. Now, especially if you want to build your products at home. The problem is we don't have any more people to build anything. Our unemployment's at like 5%, and that's extremely healthy. That means if we want an extra 100,000 people to be loggers or work in coal mines or something, we just don't have it. We don't have people that can go in and start being mechanics in a machine shop because they've got other jobs. We don't have extra people. Now, if our unemployment was at, like, say, 13 to 15%, we could absolutely do that. But with an unemployment level so low, I don't see where we're going to get the people to do those jobs. And with ICE going and taking all the migrant farm workers and stuff like that, I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And if there's anything wacky, weird, or political we need to talk about, drop a note in the comments and I'll take a look. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.